Hey Libra, welcome to your weekly forecast for March 14th through the 20th. I have a different setup right now. I am on the road at the time of recording this reading, so I'm not in my usual habitat. We're going to connect and see what is coming up here for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We do have a full moon in Virgo on the 18th. We're going to see how that is affecting Libra and what messages are coming up. You might stumble upon the video after the time frame I mentioned. That's just fine. You're going to find it whenever you're meant to find it, whenever you're meant to hear the messages. Keep in mind these are general readings for the collective. Not every single message is going to resonate. Take what does and leave what doesn't. One more shuffle here. And let's get right on into it, my darlings. First card coming up here for Libra is the Two of Pentacles. Now, this can come up in a couple of different ways. Two of Pentacles can oftentimes come up when we're like way too much in our head about something. We're judging ourselves about a situation, or we think people are looking at us negatively, and it's affecting how well we can perform in a situation. Like, you're messing up at work because you think everybody thinks you're a screw up. Or you're messing up at work because you think everybody thinks you don't deserve to be there and they should have never hired you. Or you're not smart, or whatever it might be. It could just be, I'm just giving that as an example. We might be having a really hard time in a situation because we think people don't like us. Maybe you're trying to make new friends and you're really having a hard time being present in the moment because you think that people are saying negative things about you, or they're looking at you kind of funny. And so sometimes the Two of Pentacles is like we're in our head too much. We're trying to read the situation too much. And the Two of Pentacles says, look, just be present in the moment. Just be present in engaging whatever the task at hand is in the moment, right? If it's work, just focus on the work one step at a time. If it's a social situation, just focus on your conversations or interactions one person at a time. Be present. Don't be like in your mind, like, having a separate conversation with yourself internally about the situation. Have the conversation with the person in front of you that you're having. Focus on that moment. Two of Pentacles can also come up when we have lost our joy for something. Now, this full moon in Virgo is going to make a lot of us think about our long-term future and stability and security in the long term. Like what we want our life to look like, getting settled down, getting settled in, getting secure. Some of us might even be very concerned about our health, or feeling like, hey, you know what? I'm not getting any younger. I got to start paying better attention to my health. I got to start getting into healthy habits now so that when I'm a lot older, I'm a lot healthier. And so Two of Pentacles can also be an overworked energy. That's why I bring that up. Some of you might be thinking about, taking things easier on yourself. So some of you might be feeling like, what do I want to do with my life? Like, the Two of Pentacles makes me feel like some of you Libras feel as though you're just doing a lot of busy work and not getting anywhere. Or you started something because you thought that you were going to really enjoy it, and now you're not enjoying it anymore. And you're like, I'm just kind of spinning my wheels here, trying to keep up with everything, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying it. So the Two of Pentacles can come up when we need to kind of go back to the beginning of why we started to do something to begin with. And the reason why a lot of you Libras have lost your joy is because of that, like, self-criticism, or, oh, they don't like me. Oh, they don't like me. And I got to change this, or I got to change that. There's been a lot of editing so as to, kind of win approval, or to feel like we're kind of in the running with the big boys and girls, so to speak. But it's taken you so far away from what you started to do and your love for it that you don't enjoy it anymore. Okay, and I've given this example when the Two of Pentacles came up in the card of the day. When I first started to do the YouTube channel, and friends and family, that the small amount of friends that knew that I was doing, they would watch, and meaning very well, they would give me ideas. Oh, you should do this on your channel. Oh, you should do that on your channel. And a lot of it was just like, oh my gosh, if I had taken some of this advice, I would be doing the most extra, most elaborate videos. I would be like all, Chris Angel status, super goth, and there's nothing wrong with any of that stuff. If that is how somebody is authentically, there's nothing wrong with it. But it was so over the top and so extra and like not me at all. And so a lot of you are receiving criticisms or have received criticisms or ideas or suggestions from well-meaning people, and it's taken you off your path. There's been too much editing. I feel like some of you have been writing a story or writing a book, and you just, like, Spirit is showing me somebody like taking this manuscript, like this old school, old fashioned manuscript, and chucking it into the fire in the fireplace. Because you're like, this is just so stupid. Why did I even start this? I wasted so much time. And Spirit is saying, no, you were letting somebody else hold the pen. You were letting somebody else in your head dictate what you were putting down. Don't go throwing it all away. Don't go burning it all up. Go through and pull out the bits of you that are still on those pages, and get rid of the editing, get rid of the added extra stuff. And so I feel, Libra, that a lot of you in this full moon energy, keep in mind the full moon is a time of release and letting go. Even if you don't know how to do a full moon ritual, or like, I don't know how to release, you're going to do it very naturally. And I feel a lot of Libras are very naturally releasing anything that's taking away from your authenticity and the fear or the worry of what other people might be thinking, or fears or worries about inadequacy. Especially if you're a Libra that struggles with imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is, we feel like, if people get close to us, they're going to feel like we're just a big phony, or we're just kind of faking our way through life, or, we got hired for a job, but we're not competent, we're not good enough for it, or they're in a relationship with us and they thought that we were a way better person than we actually are. Some of you maybe struggle with those intrusive thoughts or that imposter syndrome. I feel like this is the kind of stuff that a lot of Libras are going to be releasing and letting go of, and coming back into their authenticity and giving themselves permission to do things their way, their style, and like finding your joy again. Finding your joy in life, finding your joy in your work, or pursuing the work that brings you joy. Just coming back into what excites you or what makes you happy. The next card that's coming up for Libra is the Hanged Man. Not surprising at all. Major Arcana. Major Arcana cards are always going to come up anytime that we're coming into a significant new chapter in our life, a defining moment. So Major Arcana cards are going to come up anytime we're coming into big changes, right? Now, the Hanged Man is a card that a lot of people don't like to see, because they feel like it means that, oh, I'm gonna be stuck, or nothing is happening, or nothing is changing, or nothing new is going on. And the Hanged Man is not about being stuck. The Hanged Man basically is saying, you're kind of being put on a cosmic timeout right now. It's not a timeout because you've been naughty. It's not a punishment. It's a timeout to help you kind of reassess the situation, regroup, and come at it with a different approach. Because a lot of the times, the Hangman comes up because we've been making super unnecessary sacrifices. We have been giving up things we want to do. We have been giving up certain dreams or ambitions or comforts in our life because we thought that we had to, because there was a limited thinking, there was some kind of block in the thinking, or a sense of unworthiness, or whatever it might be. And the universe is giving us this time and this period of time to realize that, hey, wait a minute now, I don't have to sacrifice this. I don't have to give this up. And I've said this in other YouTube videos. Some of you have heard me say this. A lot of the times the hangman comes up for me in my readings because the universe is trying to help you to realize that you have been manifesting a lot of things on autopilot. And for a long time you were stuck. The manifestations weren't coming in. But it's about to come in. You're getting unstuck. You're getting unblocked. You're releasing a lot of stuff in this full moon energy. You're going to have a lot of things coming in for your long-term future. But a lot of them are things you've been manifesting or putting out there on autopilot for a long time, just out of habit. You don't even want them anymore. So when they come in, you don't even want them. Or you're going to be like, oh, I've been trying to manifest this forever, but now that it's here, I don't know what to do with it, or I don't think I want it anymore. So this is a time for you to double check your order, so to speak. This is a time for you to just kind of double check what you're calling into your life. A lot of the things you're putting out there on autopilot, you've outgrown it. Or a lot of you have been manifesting what you've been trained or conditioned to want. What you've been trained or conditioned to manifest. Because somebody told you, Libra, this is the idea of success. Or this is the idea of the perfect relationship. Or the perfect partner. Or, you have to have a career in science or medicine if you're going to be anybody in life. You have to be married and have kids if you're going to be happy in life. And that might not be the case for you. And so Spirit is trying to give you time to realize that. Some of you are manifesting somebody else's dream because it was drilled in your head from the time you were very young that this is what you should want and this is what's going to make you happy. And it's not even what you want. This is going to be a really good time for Libra to do some self-reflection here. Is this really what you want? The things that you've been asking for, the things that you've been manifesting, are you trying to manifest them because they would make you truly happy? Or are you trying to manifest them because you think it would make people not see you as a loser or, think of you as successful? Think about that. Meditate about that. Because you guys are going to come into a time of manifesting. And it's like, let's not squander it. Let's not waste it on manifesting things that aren't going to make us happy. The next card that's coming up here for Libra is the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles can come up a lot of the times in a reading when we need to hold on to our assets or our finances. A lot of the times I see this card come up to say that there is a blessing coming your way. There's a financial blessing or opportunity coming your way. Maybe for some of you this is going to be extra work. Maybe you're getting a lot of overtime coming in, or maybe you're going to get a lot of new clients, okay? Maybe some of you, it could be just some kind of windfall, some kind of gift, some kind of lucky thing that's making its way to you. And you might be tempted to, spend it all. You might be tempted to be generous with other people. Like, oh my gosh, look at this blessing. Let me pay it forward. Let me do something for my friends or my family. And the Four of Pentacles says, look, this money's coming in because you're going to need it. So don't be overly generous. You want to do a couple of small generous things, by all means go ahead. But hold on to as much of this blessing as you can because you're going to need it. For some of you, this is a blessing that's going to give you the ability to take off a significant period of time. Like, you won't have to work and you can just kind of rest and travel or work on your projects, right? And so you want to hold on to it in that sense or in that way. For some of you, it could be that this money is coming in so that you can maybe work less and work on projects. Maybe you have some ideas or projects. Maybe you're wanting to start some kind of nonprofit, or you're wanting to invent something, or you're wanting to write your story, or whatever it might be that you think you're going to help people in some way. This is going to give you that funding so that you can work less and work towards these passion projects that will generate income for you in the future, right? But in the meantime, they're not. And so this can be a little cushion for some of you. Also, Four of Pentacles comes up when we may be feeling the need to protect or guard our physical space. Some of you Libras might be setting some really strict boundaries about who can and can't come over to your place, as well as when people can't and can come over to your place. Maybe there's been some people who just feel super free about stopping by whenever they want. And you might start letting these people know that, no, I'm not going to invite you in, or you can't come in. Maybe some of you have friends or family that have a key to your place and just kind of let themselves in. You might be asking for those keys back. You might be changing your locks. You might be more protective of your physical space. I also see the Four of Pentacles come up when sometimes people feel the need to take a planned or deliberate period of abstinence or celibacy. Now, some people, they don't want to be celibate or they don't want to be abstinent. They just feel like they don't have the opportunity. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, you're making the decision that I don't want to, right? Some of you Libras might be doing a lot of clearing and releasing of the past, or clearing of the root chakra. And during this period of time, you may be deciding that, you know what, I don't want to have physical intimacy with anybody, or maybe you feel like within an existing relationship, you're not receiving the respect that you might need, or you might feel like your partner's just kind of coming at you in a really selfish way physically, and you might be deciding, nope, they're not getting the goodies, right? Or they're just expecting you to be ready, or to go on command, or like when they want it, right? And this applies to you whether you are male or female. I feel like men are so stereotyped. Men are seen as like, oh yeah, they want to have it all the time, and they want it constantly, and that's not always the case. And so maybe some of you men are like, hey, look, like, if this goes both ways, you're not gonna like it if I'm just jumping on you and expecting you to go at the drop of a hat, right? Like, I'm not like that either. And so some of you might be having to set some boundaries here with your body and with physical intimacy. The next card that's coming up here for Libra is the Eight of Swords. Now, this doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all, because the Eight of Swords can come up when we feel kind of stuck or trapped in a situation, and we might be feeling like we want somebody to come in and help us to get out of the situation. We want somebody to come in and like partner up with us and go through these changes together. Some of you might even be saying, okay, God, okay, universe, okay, angels, okay, guides, send me the right friends, or send me the right business partner, or send me the right romantic partner, if you really want me to make these changes so that I can ascend and be higher vibrational and do good in the world and help people. Send me the right person. This is where it gets tricky, my dears. It's not that the universe is abandoning you or doesn't care about you or doesn't want to, help you. We have to remind ourselves that everything is energy, and like attracts like. Energy calls to itself the same energy. So when we're in the Eight of Swords energy, the best case scenario, we're going to attract somebody that wants from us what we're wanting from them. And this can be very frustrating. And then you have two people that are arguing and butting heads over time because both of the people in the situation feel like the other person expects them to find all the solutions or all the answers, or the other person expects them to fix everything. They might tell you that, Libra, like, how come you're always expecting me to, solve all the problems? And you might be like, wait a minute, what are you even talking about right now? I'm the one that has to solve all the problems. And we end up with bickering and getting nowhere. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is we attract someone who's a bit of an opportunist and sees this as a way to, get into our pants or our pockets, get into our money, have control over us in a situation, have a sense of power, just take the situation and turn it over to benefit them. That's the worst case scenario. We have to get out of this energy, and we have to get out of this current circle of the people that are around us. And once we do, in that higher vibrational energy, in that higher vibrational circle, then we can find business partners, then we can find friends, then we can find romantic partners. But we got to get out of the sticky energy first, right? We got to get out of that place first, okay? I'll give you an example. There was a time I was working in a job that I was absolutely miserable in this job, and I worked with a lot of men, and I date men. I'm I don't know, whatever you want to call it, heterosexual or whatever. I don't know what the terminology is these days, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I date men. And at that time, I really wanted a romantic relationship, but I was working in a place with these terrible guys. Terrible, terrible guys. They were just like, you know, all the issues I had at the time, they were triggering me in every way that I could have possibly been triggered at that time. And every day I would come home from work hating men. Like, oh, I hate men. I despise men, right? At that time. How am I gonna manifest a relationship with a man if every single day I come home, men are disgusting, men are selfish, men are rude, men are this, men are that? How am I going to manifest a relationship if these are the ideas I have about men? And how can I stop thinking that way if I'm in an environment that's constantly triggering me, right? So I have to get away from that environment so that I can release the false beliefs, so that I can heal the triggers, and I can realize, hey, there's a lot of good guys out there. Not all men are gross. Not all men are this, terrible kind of way. But I had to get out of the environment first. Okay? And so that's like the best example that I can give you, Libra, with this Eight of Swords. You have to get out of the environment first. And I know it feels like, but how can I get out without help? And it seems like it might be backwards, but it's not. It really isn't. So there's going to be a lot of release around these false beliefs. There's going to be a lot of release around fear. The fact that the Four of Pentacles is here just makes me feel like as you're setting boundaries and respecting yourself and not allowing yourself to be in situations where you feel like you're being spoken to disrespectfully or you're being treated disrespectfully, as long as you're in these boundaries, I feel like a lot of things are going to start falling into place for you. I feel there's also something here in terms of respect, like realizing that you deserve to be respected, you deserve to be taken seriously. And so I feel this is a big shift that's happening for a lot of you in this full moon energy. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those might resonate more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. There is a link to schedule in the description of this video. Also, love readings for March are linked in the description. April love readings will be up in the next week or so. Be sure to check out the daily message too. I do a card of the day, a daily message. Check that out as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Hopefully I'll see you all in the daily comments as well. Be well and take care, my dears. Have a wonderful week.